Hi guys, it's Gilly Hunt here, and I've got today a card that we made earlier. So earlier in the week I made this card, and I promised you a couple of sessions where we looked at variations on the theme. So today we're going to look at a couple of variations on the theme. I'm going to use silver embossing powder and I'm going to use a different colour. And then in a couple more days' time I'm going to introduce a slightly different version and another colourway. So there you go, two treats to look forward to. So today, this was the one we made previously, and I just thought I would show you how simple it is to make exactly the same card. Here it is, pretty much exactly the same position on the page, and all I've done is I've turned it and put my thinking of you in this corner, just using ordinary embossing powders directly onto the soft sea foam. Ooh, can't say that, put my teeth back in. So it's putting it straight onto the soft sea foam card, and that makes an equally lovely card without using the vellum. So if you don't have vellum, you can still make these cards. So just a slightly different version for you to have a look at. Now we've brought that one through, let's just try another couple and introduce you to another couple. So how about, instead of bringing the full piece, all I've done on this one is taken the same image but stamped it so that it comes off the page. So in fact it would have been down here, wouldn't it, the stalk, if you followed that down to here. And that allows you to have a little bit more space for your greeting, and it also means that you can offset the greeting to one side. Okay, I'm not going to show you how to make these, but I will show you how to do something similar in a minute. And the other one I've done is again on a similar line, so I've done it offset at one side, but I've also offset another little piece at this side, just to give you sort of a slightly more balanced card, maybe with the image both sides. So there's three variations on this original card that I made a little while ago. So if you want to know how to make this exact card, go back and find my previous video, and don't forget, if you subscribe, then you will always get notification when I produce a new video. That would be really helpful to me too. Okay, so I'm going to take a version of these and make it in a different colourways, just to show you how nice they can look in a different colourway. So this time I've got some Pool Party card, and I'm going to come back to the original lovely stamp set. Sorry, I was busy trying to stamp at the same time as think then. Sometimes I can't stamp and think at the same moment, it's weird. Right, and because I want to go off the page with this, I'm just going to bring in a piece of scrap paper. So I'm going to pop that underneath there, and I'm just going to put this, where are we going to put it? Let's put it like that to the side. So we're just going to go off the side. Now, as previously, when you've got a big stamp, there's no need to push hard. It's just a gentle tap that you need all the way across, but you do need to make sure that it's all the way across. Okay, and it's just gone off the card there and off there, and it gives you that nice flow as if the design is moving off your card. So whilst I've got that there, I'm going to colour it, and I'm going to use Light Mango and Dark Mango Melody, and Light and Dark Mint Macaron, and also Light Apple Green. So let's start with the Light Mango Melody, and I'm going to just colour the centres of the flowers, because I want this just to have that, you know, when you have something like a forget-me-not or that kind of flower, although this isn't, I don't know what flower this particularly is. I'm usually very good on my flowers, but I don't know. And I'm just going to put it even darker in the centre, so just a little dark piece, and it'll give you that nice light centre. Okay, now I'm going to use the Light Mint Macaron, and just like I've done in the previous one, I'm going to just colour one at a time. In fact, I might just do these two together because they kind of merge together anyway. Okay, and I'm going to colour them quite fast and quite patchily because I just want to get that almost like a watercolour feel to them. Okay, and I'm starting always with the lighter colour because I then get my page completely saturated with this lighter colour, and then the dark colour just blends itself almost. And I'm being guided by I'm going dark wherever there's a little bit of pencil mark or ink mark in the original drawing, so that because whoever was the artist originally knows what they're doing and they've already done it for you. So let's not fight what they've done. Let's just go along with it. And at the moment it looks quite sort of patchy because the paper's got to dry out, but you'll see as the paper dries out it'll look lovely. Okay, I'm going to then do the outside of the buds. There we go. And on the buds I'm just going to go for the back petals, because they will be in the shadows behind. This front one is going to stand out, and just a little bit on that corner of that one. Okay, and now I'm going to use the light Granny Apple Green just to bring in the leaves. And like I did on the very first video I made, I'm not actually going to sort of try and shade the leaves because the shading is already there with the darker pencil marks or ink marks from the original drawing. And it kind of works without you having to do anything sort of clever about shading. Just do that, okay? I'm just also going to mention, when you're using a brush end, as you would with a paintbrush, and if you're not familiar with a paintbrush, this is where just a little teaching tip. If you've got a place where it goes to a narrow point, try and brush from somewhere where it's big and fat, like here, and then just as you're going towards the tip, gradually pull up from the page so that as you get to the end you've actually come up off the page, and that will give you that nice little thin point, although I've just concentrated for a bit too long and it's gone a little bit blotchy, but that's the idea. Okay, so there we go. There's our colour. Now all we need to do is make it antique-y. So I'm going to bring in my Versamark. Okay, and those of you that watched my first video will know that all we've done is we've just literally dabbed this around the edges. We're not doing much other than just touching it to the page, and then I'm going to go just round one more time, and this time just give it each a little tiny bit of a flick, maybe on the corners, just okay, and it's just a little flick, it's not much. And then quite quickly, whilst that's still tacky and whilst it's still wet, oh, excuse me, trying to open the box, I'm going to bring in my silver embossing powder, which I've put into one of these sort of takeaway boxes. I like to put them in these because it spreads the powder out. The powder comes in a little pot like this. This is the gold pot, but they come in a little pot, and actually it's quite hard to handle from the pot. I find it much easier to put them into a tub like this. And I'm going to give it a little flick with my finger, flick, flick, flick. And that just pushes off any bits from the middle, any stray bits. Okay. Put the lid on because I don't want to be melting the spare. Oh, knocking everything over today. I'm being Mrs. Clumsy, definitely. And now I'm just going to heat seal this. Now I've been using my gun, so the gun itself is reasonably warmed up. But if it wasn't warmed up, then you should just run it for a couple of minutes just to warm it up. Now, can you see that lovely silver starting to come? And you'll see it track along as I go along. Let me turn it. I'm not moving it extensively, I'm just letting it track along the edge until I can spot that it's turning. I'm trying to do it so you can see it. It's quite hard to do this so you can see it turning colours. There you go. And that has now just tracked all the way along. I just make sure I haven't missed any. There you are. And that now has given me a really nice, pretty little, just glittery, shiny silver edge. Okay. And we're not aiming to have a smooth edge. It's patchy because and what have you, because that gives you that lovely antiqued flavour. And there's another thing you can do to make it even more antique if you want to, and that is just to give it a little ruffle with your scissors. Okay, and that will give you a fluffy edge as well. But it's up to you whether you want to do that or not. I'm just offering that as another idea to give it a fluffy edge. Okay, and the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just give it a little bit more Versamark, but on this time onto my sentiment. And there it goes. You can't see it, but as soon as I put the silver on, you'll see it beautifully. So let's just put the lid on that again and bring in my powder. Again, we're going to just dip that corner that's been, and you can see, look, where the powder is sticking straight away. Okay, and I can do it with my finger, but if you have a soft bristled paintbrush and you just want to just tick away any little bits that you don't want, that's helpful. There we go. And in with the heat gun again. And isn't that marvellous, watching it turn? There we go. Don't take it on for too long because it will just go duller, it won't go shinier. So as soon as it's gone shiny, that's all you need. Look at that, isn't that beautiful? Look at the shine on that. Whee! Okay, and there we've got our next card base front done, and all you need to find another base and to pop that on. Get well soon. I hope you've enjoyed that. Now before I go, I've got one last thing to do, and that is to decide whether I want a centre or not. And I've decided that I absolutely love these. They're available at my shop, gillyhunt.com, as is everything else. But these are the most lovely set of gems. So look out for those lovely gems. And they go so beautifully with the colours because they kind of reflect all the colours that are there. I hope you've enjoyed that. And come back and have a look at the last in my set of 3. And I hope I'm going to get that out in the next day or 2. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.